Comparison, you're under arrest. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt. Comparison is a big, huge, massive obstruction that prevents us from loving ourselves. If we can eliminate it or limit comparison, our self-love will flourish. As we are heavily influenced by mainstream conditioning, we need to understand why we compare ourselves and how we end up feeling the way we do. In this chapter, we will look at why comparison steals away our self-love, how we've fallen for social conditioning, why we can't experience love on the inside while comparing ourselves on the outside, and how we can stop comparing ourselves so that we can reclaim our self-love. Competition is our conditioning. Social media, advertisements, packaging, TV, film, magazines, what we hear, see, read, and watch. Conditioning comes from everywhere. The media industry is built around making us feel like we're not good enough, so that we buy or consume what they're selling. I notice the extent of media's conditioning whenever I leave Bali and I head back to life in the West. One of the joys of living in Bali is that there's so much less consumerism. When I'm in Bali, I'm probably not going to drive past a bus with a giant advert on the side telling me that my teeth aren't white enough. Especially where I live in Ubud, considerably fewer people watch television, and I wouldn't tend to see magazines with adverts telling me how to fix my cellulite or make my hair shinier. In the West, we are surrounded by it. Everywhere we go, we receive messages that we need to buy more, more, more. With this kind of marketing all around us, we think we need to be more, do more, and have more. It's no wonder we compare ourselves constantly against what everyone else is, does, or has. In a way, Western culture cultivates a sense of lack, distracting us from our emotional pain. Rather than encouraging us to seek solutions within ourselves, we are told to search for quick fixes in the form of the clothes we wear, the things we buy, and the type of sex we're having. Consumption and chasing a better version of ourselves is a massive bypass and distraction from the root of it all. The deep fear of not belonging or not feeling loved, aka all of our emotional baggage. Yet, instead of taking the time to figure out who we are, we spend many years of our life just trying to fix ourselves. Constantly trying to fit a mould of who we think we should be and who we're told to be. Being different isn't really encouraged. Having an opinion isn't really encouraged. We're told we must fit in and not stand out. So we look around us to see what others are doing and then try and make ourselves more like that. Comparison is a measure of how well we're doing at the task of fitting in. And it's not just the media telling us to fit in, but the way the whole system is set up, because it's so much easier to control people who don't ask too many questions. Desperately trying to fit in is also distracting us from asking too many questions of ourselves as well. Compare and despair. Imagine a scenario where you find yourself comparing your life with someone else's. Usually, you're unaware that you're even doing it. It's passive or mindless. It's not like you put aside dedicated time for it. You don't just say to yourself, right, I'm going to sit and compare myself to this woman on Instagram. Usually it happens when we lose our presence and we're not fully in the moment. Joy, on the other hand, is full of presence. Joy is all about living fully in the moment, which means that joy and comparison don't coexist, because comparison means dwelling on the different life choices that we have made to get us where we are. Knowing this can be helpful if you catch yourself on Instagram looking at all your friends who are married with babies while you're single, or finding yourself thinking about wealthy friends who chose a corporate career path while you're living out of a backpack. As always, we come back to the act of making a conscious choice.